هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن وهو بكل شيء عليم. One of the most prolific ayahs of the Quran describes who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. If you want to know who Allah is, then read this ayah. You'll see who Allah is. Meaning there's an issue, well, two concepts here. One is the concept of time. The concept of time is that Allah is beyond time. Allah creates time. So Allah is in eternity. And if you know anything about physics, eternity is just pure power. It's pure energy. That's all it is. And if you ever go into eternity, you'll have the ability to create anything you want. So Huwa al-Awwal is that even before time, He was there. He was the first. He is the first. And then, if there is a point where there is no time, then Allah is still there. Huwa al-Awwal wal-Akhir. He is the last. Yeah. So here we see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is infusing this eternal power into the mind of the one who has this aqidah. The one who has this aqidah, that Allah is before time, that Allah creates time, He will never waver, He will never shiver, He will never shake, He will always be formidable, He will be very resolved, and He will be very aggressive in what He does. He will have an approach and attitude that overwhelms everybody. So Awwal al-Akhir, meaning there is a function to Allah's name al-Awwal, and there's a function to Allah's name al-Akhir. Yeah. And what is that? That it brings energy into you. You should be energized when you say Huwa al-Awwal wal-Akhir. So nothing is beyond you, and you are now engaged with the one who creates time and who is there as the eternal, and He is there in the pre-eternal dimension and realm also. So He is now the first and He is the last. That is how you benefit from reciting these names. Every name of Allah has an effect. If you read these names with prescription, by the way, don't try it at home, you'll go cuckoo. Yeah, if you want to recite them, come to me, I'll show you how to recite them. It's prescribed. Okay? Don't do it unprescribed. As I said, you won't know what's happening to you. Yeah, you go into a phase where you won't recognize your wife, and she won't recognize you either. Okay? So be careful. Every name of Allah has an effect. If you recite the name the way it's supposed to be recited, you will have that effect. So it's not simply that there is an aqidah of tasbih, but it has practical applications that the ulama know. If you don't know, ask the ulama. The ulama will tell you what to do. And it's very simple. They're not going to prescribe 10,000 times. Anyone who prescribes a dhikr for more 1,000, don't listen to them. Okay, don't go there. Don't do these magical kind of formulas. If you recite this 10,000 times, 1,000 times, this, don't do that. You mustn't do that. You must go to the qualified expert who's seasoned and he knows. Where am I going to give you a formula for 10,000 times? That's ludicrous. You don't have the time, I don't have the time. By the time you finish, you're dead. That's not going to help you. So as a footnote, don't listen or do anything that sounds ludicrous. Read this 10,000 times. It's very simple. The formula has to be very simple and very easy to do, inshallah. So if you need something, then you go to someone who knows what it is he's saying and doing. But if you recite Huwa al-Awwal wal-Akhir, you will see that you'll be in sync with eternity. And you will bring that eternity in your thinking, in your attitude, that nothing will stop you from doing what it is you want to do. Nothing. If you have that energy and that know-how, the know-how is, Muslims simply don't understand the value of know-how. The method that you choose to bring about a certain action must be correct. Mechanically it must be correct. Strategically it must be correct. And so then you go and you make dua and you get things done. Yeah. Muslims, they're not, what do you call it, defeatists, and they're not people who shy away from doing things. You must do things. You must be very active and proactive. وَالظَّاهِرُ وَالْبَاطِنُ. The other one is space, basically. The first dimension is a time, which is awwal al-akhir. The other is space, al-zahir al-batin, the one who is apparent, and he is now hidden. And so, meaning that wherever you go in space, whatever is obvious, he is there. And whenever there is something that is subtle, he is there. Al-zahir al-batin. He is the apparent, and he is also not the one who's not so apparent, and he is hidden, for the lack of a better word. So everything that Allah creates, and it is perceivable and observable, he is there. He is the zahir. He is the one who makes it apparent and clear. And anything that is not apparent and clear, well, Allah is there too. So all the mysteries of the heavens and the earth and all the secrets that we want to know about, they are there with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he has this immense knowledge. Okay, these two names will give you a sense of knowledge, which is how the ayah ends. وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. He is with everything knowledgeable. So if there's a thing in the cosmos, then that thing Allah knows about. And he knows about that thing because he creates it. So nothing escapes Allah's knowledge. Everything is dictated, governed and directed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's now micro knowledge, not just the macro. Allah's micro knowledge is with everything. So when you have that, then he knows you. That gives you a sense of comfort. That Allah is close to me because he knows me. So he knows me, and because he knows me, I'm here. And if he's here, then I'm comfortable. With Allah's proximity, which is what the next ayah is saying. Okay. He is with you wherever you are.